I was just thinking about my morning. I spent the first hour, maybe hour and a half, just wrestling with a spreadsheet, reformatting cells, chasing down data points. By the time I actually got to the analysis, the part that requires my actual brain, I was just tired.
There's a term for that. I was just reading this piece that calls it the person left over after drudgery. It's that depleted version of yourself that's left after you've battled all the administrative friction.
The person left over. That's it exactly. You start the day with all this potential, and by 10 a.m., you're just a fraction of yourself, delivering a shadow of what you could have done.
Right, and it's this quiet drain that the current media narrative about AI completely misses. Everyone's focused on these big, scary stories, robots taking all the jobs, AI companions, the digital dystopia stuff.
Because fear gets clicks. It's an easier story to tell than the alternative.
It is, but this article suggests the real revolution isn't about replacement, it's about what happens when you remove that drudgery. They described someone's workflow where AI was handling all that friction, the reformatting, the technical setup, the repetitive tasks. And the person's experience of their work completely changed. It became, well, they called it a dance.
A dance? I like the sound of that, but it feels a bit abstract. My morning definitely didn't feel like a dance. It felt like a wrestling match.
Right, but think about it. Instead of grinding through steps, you're moving fluidly between ideas. The AI handles the technical execution, and you're just left with the creative part. The work starts to flow through you instead of happening to you. The person doing the work is no longer the person left over. They're the true, energized person who was buried under all that overhead.
I can see that. If I hadn't spent that 90 minutes on spreadsheet mechanics, the analysis I did would have been deeper. I would have had more energy for the strategic insight, which is the whole point of the task.
And that's what the author calls the liberation hypothesis. If you scale that feeling you just described across different fields, imagine a doctor. When AI handles the endless charting and administrative paperwork, they have more mental and emotional energy left for the patient in front of them, the human connection.
Or a teacher. If they're not spending hours grading standardized questions or formatting curriculum, they can actually focus on that one student who's struggling or the one who needs a bigger challenge. They can actually teach.
Exactly. The core argument is that AI augmentation doesn't diminish us. It creates the conditions for our most human skills to finally emerge. And that's where this whole conversation shifts. This is what we try to explore here on The Age of Living Intelligence, not just the technology itself, but how it reshapes the human experience of work and creativity.
But you have to acknowledge the fear narrative has a point. There are real risks. People are worried about their jobs, and for good reason in some cases.
No, you're right, and the article acknowledges that. It's not about naive optimism. The point is that the outcome isn't predetermined. It depends on how we design and deploy these systems. Are we designing them out of fear with the goal of replacement and control?
Or are we designing them with intention, asking, how can this tool liberate a person to do their best, most human work, instead of just, how can this replace a human to cut costs?
Precisely. That shift in the guiding question changes everything. It moves the goal from simple efficiency to human flourishing. It's about working from a different place within ourselves, our full capacity, not our depleted reserves.
It makes you wonder what most of us could really be capable of. We're so used to being the person left over that we might not even know what our true person can contribute.
I think that's the most profound insight in the whole piece. When the tedious parts are handled, what's left is what makes us unique: the intuition, the creativity, the emotional intelligence that turns information into wisdom. The work becomes less about obligation and more about expression. It becomes art. That's a much more hopeful way to look at the future of work. It's not about humans versus machines, but about creating an environment where our best capabilities can finally dance.
Exactly. This is a conversation that opens up so many more questions about how we can consciously shape our tools to serve us better. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed our work, please like, share, and subscribe.
To dig even deeper into subjects like these, please visit our Medium publication, AGI is Living Intelligence.